That's a.
Yeah, I was just saying, yes, like the bottom bar shows it, you just have to get out of the screen and start full screen again.
And that, you can like that,
You can just hit escape and then
click back into
the
it.
slideshow, and
And-
as long as this thing is done,
I just don't want that to be rigid.
yeah.
Only jiggly. Perfect.
And it's already recording. Cause I will forget. I'm on here. So I can.
Okay, yeah, I'm right here.
Nice.
Okay,
Let's see a second. Oh, Marissa wanted to test this out.
yeah.
We'll have to.
And then I want to talk. Yeah, no one cares.
So.
We know where you're
Yeah.
Go to where.
Not on sure.
That rate, and whatever we have.
Alright.
Trailer. Blocks on there and some signs. Some lights.
All right.
Stuff's just.
It's all set up. Oh.
I mean, like, still, ready to go, you just do it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll do fine. Just read it.
Still dying? People still dying? As far as I know.
Retired in July 1st, 2022.
Is the volume up on that laptop?
That's what I'm gonna check.
You'd always send it. I said, I just assumed. No.
I'm all the way.
Los Angeles.
What's some right down here?
I guess the director of promotions are.
We're not really sure. We don't really know what he does.
We really don't know.
That's what nice to have you married. You married, nice to have money.
Is that what?
You gotta pay a lot. You gotta pay a lot of money.
Johnny Depp.
Whole system reviews.
You're the first one I've actually gotten to eat.
Yeah.
Before a meeting.
How did you go with?
The stinging, it was good.
Yeah, I thought try something different. Yeah.
Normally I'd never eat and there's nothing left.
Oh, well, it's not yet. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's actually very good though, so I like the cheese for myself. It's actually if he was married, because I like the cheese for that cheese.
Yeah.
See the new idea. The person would be, we rewatch the person, that's it. And then my. Yeah, I wanted to do it. But it's second. In the city for games.
I supposed to say something today? Okay, good.
Yeah, you're supposed to do a 10-minute speech. 10-minute speech.
That was like 30 seconds.
No, you can just, a little quick thing.
It is something.
I don't do much public speaking, so you know, I gotta prepare for that. I'm just kidding. Hobbies public.
Yeah, like when Bob's a year shark, remember that? And the term is not like. It's not. It was.
I thought I read something about
stupid. Yeah.
Where are the rats from?
Always. Use its place beyond the charge. Yep.
Wow.
Want the microphone? Sure. That means.
What that? Thanks, that side.
Oh, definitely, oh, well,
The new ones are the ones.
Hello. Hi, guys. Good. Hey, oh, they're seeing you, that's done. I'm feeling it was. Did you get up yet?
Yeah.
Did you get up?
You're asking about it.
Yeah, did you get that?
You didn't recognize that this is an antique.
Yeah, that is an antique.
I have a variety.
Remember, we don't have that much time, so you can't. Yes, you are. Doing this all by myself.
You're gonna have to point at me and say that.
Hey, no, pointing at you and then, yeah, wrap it up. We don't wanna be, we wanna be out of here by 7. We're done at 7. So,
I know we're done.
I know you could talk about it.
Yeah, we're done at 7.
It's good as well. I see it. I like it. I don't think it's running.
Yeah.
Well, the Rotary.
So you have.
Irish coffee.
Hello.
They just go fast and start your mind.
That's what I was looking at.
I needed to get just a couple of things.
Your address.
I wanted to go. Not at the same time as groceries. Tomorrow, right after I drop the boys off at daycare. So I was thinking. Get in and get out. Luckily, I got a purchase. Nice.
It was really busy in the last day.
Yeah, and then there was a giant accident on the other side, like over by Texas Roadhouse. So like cars were backed up, like. Kenny. Hi, Aaron.
I just said something to that. Oh, it's actually done, yeah.
Dude, that's, there's.
There's less distance for me to trip over myself when I have to get into
Is there?
this time. Well, I shouldn't say that. That owl might.
That's good. My team said, oh, you buy.
They're all. Are you right? Oh.
Yeah, and I'm not getting any less busy.
Just dropped off my phone.
Okay.
Right.
It's work stuff over 2 weeks and then we're doing Christmas early. Yeah, Christmas.
Wow. But it's good. She's good.
I was so surprised, like, seeing her so.
How have you?
Good at the. Are you still there?
Are married already. She lives in Canada, they got married.
Yeah.
Because the tradition is the oldest sibling has to get married, the sibling can get married.
It's our end of the year.
So, they got married at the courthouse in Canada.
End of year campaign.
I don't know that. All I got told is I need to fly out. I don't know if I can sit still. I don't really know what we're doing. Just know that.
Yeah, just have connection, and just make sure you're always like keeping knowledge.
Realizing, oh, there's other times to do that. Wow.
Busy, yeah, but they have dance stuff coming up. Christmas stuff and all that, trying to find a new job. Funny that part. Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna like go, and then there's that one that you're like, what, you have you? You know, I have a job right now. That'll probably be the last one, but Like,
Yeah, you guys are here.
why is- I don't know. I'm supposed to be done with my meetings at the end of the year, but then she gave me an opportunity to fix it here. Just realizing like. But now I'm like, okay, cool, but now actually getting people like interested, where I've had like no one interested for a whole month. And I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Sorry about that. Like,
The reason I thought is like. It's like one of the coolest things, like I, you know, it's got this. Fortunately, not good, you know, we're good at, we're physically. There won't be a need for another one. You know. Danny, how are you? Is Tracy not still in the club? I was gonna say, only reason I asked, I saw it's her birthday today, right?
Yeah, it's her birthday.
Or yeah,
Friday.
it is today, right? I thought I saw it on my LinkedIn, so I was like.
Yeah, it's her birthday. I wish she would come back. Maybe after her daughter's graduating this year.
Yeah, I suppose she's probably pretty. She's got to be like, is she a high schooler now? She's driving?
Graduating next year.
Oh, wow.
Who is? You? Her daughter, yeah. She's not that old. Yeah. Whatever. Is he? Eric was saying that, he's got all the stuff. Well, all right, awesome. Yeah, slide.
I love that.
Governor, make it.
Rotary.
See.
I would say I didn't personally been there, I just had a kiosk there.
Okay.
I know, and short vision, I get.
And I'm like,
triple my break down.
so, like.
I do. Wait, the other.
Yeah.
Wait, no, no, you're just coming to talk to me.
Everybody's been asking for a second.
Thanks for calling her. Oh, okay. December 10th. You're early.
Good. I'm fine.
Do you remember pinning in December 10th? Nice call here. Kind of like even out the.
My brain is just bad at. I just stopped it.
I'm sorry. Sophie, I got.
Hello. You're doing. Hello.
Like, lights the entrance, just giving a good little goose.
They gave me a seizure while I sat there during the cultural event, because I sat underneath the line. And that gets to be a little bit. Well, I thought about it, but I was like, so people are on management, like, make it fun, so I definitely. Text them.
The singing garlic is very sticky. I had to go. That's it. Yeah, it's really good. It's big, but it's sticky. Like.
That was a really good talk.
Hey, huh?
Make a point of it.
Might do that.
Hey, Dean, how you doing?
Right?
Good to see you.
Hi.
People make their money.
To the show on the road. Ready? Digging right on. Let's have her go through her.
There you go. I gotta whack that baby.
All right, where's my little clicker? All right, am I on? Okay. All right, welcome to our meeting tonight. It is our last November meeting. We only have one more meeting for the year. And tonight we're gonna learn all about the Rotary Foundation with Marissa and Dean. So that is gonna be great. You need to admit, Evan, okay. Just so you know that all of our meetings are recorded, you can find them on our YouTube page. So if you ever wanna send out something to someone to see what we do, look there. And if you all can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Here. All right, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, well, welcome our visitors and guests. Is Joe, Lisha, do you have a list? Visitors and guests.
Yes, I do. I really do.
You come on up, one of the two. All right, Joe will go. Normally it's Neil. Not sure where.
Sure, we have a visiting Rotarian, Steve from Valley View is here.
Well.
And we've got Sarah Dalkey is also here. They're gonna be giving some announcements shortly, and then Pete is joining us again. We're hoping he's gonna join the club, like here, Pete. And we're supposed to do a question. So I'm gonna start with you, Steve. What is your favorite side dish for Thanksgiving dinner?
Gotta be dressing.
Dressing.
Now,
What type of dressing?
the kind of sausage and the nuts and the bread cubes and lots of gravy on top of it.
Sausage, nuts, bread cubes, and lots of gravy. That's pretty good hearty stuffing. How about for you, Sarah?
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie. Do you have a particular recipe that you like or a secret?
I like pumpkin cheesecake. Actually, we're gonna break it down. But that is a side for me. It's not dessert.
Very well said. And Pete,
Mashed potatoes boiled in chicken stock.
mashed potatoes boiled in chicken stock. That sounds very rich.
Oh.
Gravy or butter on top?
Great, probably great.
Well, thank you all for being here. We give thanks to our guests and visiting Rotarians, and you are the perfect side dish to this meeting. Thank you.
All right, how about virtual guests? Who do we have?
We have Eileen, Richard Strauss, Alyssa, Bill Pritchard, and Sierra.
Awesome, and they can participate when we do our little member question. All right, if you're gonna make announcements, just please come to the front and kind of stand by our owl so we can see it for our recording. So we're gonna take a quick little 5 minutes to go over with your members that are at your table, just to get to know each other. And tonight's question kind of goes the same, is what is your favorite holiday tradition? It could be any of the holidays. So you got about 5 minutes to get to know your table.
5 minutes.
What's your holiday tradition?
Favorite holiday.
You cook regularly?
Everything with him is ever. Sit there and stare at each other.
You like cake?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. And it's redundant. Yeah. Have you? Very thrilling. Oh, yeah.
And then maybe.
So I come from a very big family, so they were like,
My favorite.
all of the cousins did, give the cake.
My favorite holiday.
They're 37 cousins.
No obligation.
So they're after that.
Boy times.
There's a lot, we're from Chicago, that's why we're saying, everyone very.
Yeah, I'm related to everybody else except for you. But yeah, we always did gift exchange, so it's always really fun to see like the president of the tree. And now, yeah, you picketing early, the person who was hosting the all great kids and then you just picked another grandkid's name. And now there's enough great grandkids that we're starting to be great grandkids now, so. So
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 23.
I realize now because grows into more for like people.
like pretty caring.
Like, no, it's like, like.
Line up like 6th of May.
Like just campus.
Yeah. That was just going on. It's such a great, it's not, it's 2 days. Before I can bother my mom and be like, let me cry.
Is your family here, like in town here?
They're in Valley.
Oh, that's great, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandma tried to teach me the Alexa and I, 1 year, I mean, like I have all of the iron and everything. It's so hard, like to roll it in a circle and then she would roll it so good in that. So I have a appreciation doing that. In fact, one of like, she was starting to fail and like, I almost did it too late, but I filmed her in every step of the lesson making process and I video. So I have that, I have her.
The tutorial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we, like, my dad, Bryce is. And I'm in charge of it. I've been in charge of it as well, so.
You're grown now.
Yeah.
That's funny, my grandma, she was, my grandpa was in charge of the girls. Like that was his job. Like it's my necessarily do that. I would do my dance inside of my cousins on Christmas Eve. We go, my grandma and grandpa's, they're gone now. Then we would get in the car, go down to Broca, to my grandma and grandpa's down there, my mom's school. And then we'd be with them and my other cousins and uncles on Christmas Day. And when people, family,
My parents got divorced. All of us kids had.
but we still do. Christmas Eve. Cassie is really good and we still do calls and lots,
This year is actually our house, and actually, I have to figure out. What
it's probably Christmas Eve.
we've done everything. We've done family, we've done adult, male, male, we've done female, female. We've done- Like, we're all
But we
adults.
also did,
I'm the youngest at 39 years old. Nobody needs to buy
me
anything.
and my dad.
So I try to make it. We've done dates.
Yes.
Whoever's hosting.
Her and her sister. What's the plan? That's gonna be like, how long are you gonna?
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna ask like a couple people to share theirs. How about Alicia? What is your favorite holiday tradition?
Washington puts a bite in.
Always.
A lot of rotary lights.
Rotary lights?
Yeah.
I was a consensus. All right. How about Jolene?
I like to decorate for Christmas the day after Thanksgiving.
Kind of late to the game. I just leave my tree up all year round. Anyone else have anything cool? I know like we kind of had some over here about going to a movie like after Christmas Eve, because you're like done playing with your toys, so like I said, I always grew up going to like a Disney movie every Christmas. So this year there's Moana 2, Lion King and Wicked, so like there's a lot to see, so. All right, moving on, we have a new Rotary After Hours Member of the Month. Our last one was Ryan for last month, so since you're here, you can use my little magic hat and my magic cards, and you can swirl them up and pick a new member of the month. Yes, you are.
Get a rabbit and win the prize.
There is no rabbit. Perfect. All right, the next member is Stephanie Doyle. So we'll have to talk to her. Lost my clicker. Here we go. All right, so just a couple questions and then just so we can get to know each other and hopefully you're enjoying that. And next, we're gonna go with the announcements. If you're here for a local event, I'll have you come up. We'll have Rotary Lights come up first.
Thank you, a mic and everything, such pressure. So, hi, everyone, my name is Sarah Dalkey, I coordinate the volunteers for Rotary Lights. I also help with sponsorships and lots of other things, I guess. My initiative that I'm here to talk to you about tonight is increasing our Facebook profile with Rotary Lights. And what I mean by that is when comparing Rotary Lights to other events in the state of Wisconsin, we did analysis and we found that we were quite short in comparison. So we really have a focus of increasing our followers and likes this year. Our goal is 30,000 because it's our 30th year. And so by the end of the season, December 31st, we hope to hit that 30,000. One of the reasons we're doing this is because this year we only have 33 nights on the calendar that were open. Thanksgiving falls so late in November, and compared to last year where we had 38 nights on the calendar, we're 5 nights less. And that means 5 less nights that we can take in those food donations for all the food pantries and collect money at the gate to keep us going. So a way to counteract that, if you will, is to increase our Facebook presence and social media so we can kind of put the bug in the air to have people remember that we're open every single day of the week. There isn't a line Monday through Thursday. So come down and visit us. I hear every year that people try and see us. They see the line is an hour long. They turn around and go, not tonight, kids. We're going back home. We don't have the time to spend. So this is a way for us to impact the food collected. The way that you can help, and I am visiting every Rotary Club in the area, is to like us on Facebook. So if you have the app, I'm going to show you a magic button that has proven to be super beneficial for us. So if you go to the Rotary Lights Facebook page, which everybody should be able to find easily, you probably already like us and follow us, but the magic button is the 3 little dots on the center of the screen. It's on the right-hand side. If you click on that, it brings up a pop-up. And one of the choices is invite friends. So if you click on that, invite friends, it allows you to select all of the friends you have on Facebook. And it gives them the opportunity to like our page. So what we have found, if you think that this doesn't matter, it totally does. At La Crosse Rotary East, when I did this, within 48 hours, we jumped 700 likes. When I visited downtown Rotary, we jumped 1,200 likes within 2 days.
Oh, we can beat that.
Yeah, let's beat it. I think you can. It's pretty popular, so I'm pretty sure that you guys know a lot of people. And they don't have to if they don't want to. It's just an opportunity to get in front of them and remind them that we're open. We'd love to see them, and it's magic in the park when they do. So thank you.
I just got 4 people right now.
I love you.
All right,
So
so
we're at 24,000. How much?
I'm at 5 people right now.
What do you have on yours? So
I sent the invite when you
sent it.
started talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get notified?
Yeah, I got
Okay,
notified.
so I bet after today, 48 hours from now, we may be pretty close to 25,000. So that would be awesome. And that's our goal, to hit 25,000 before Friday when we open.
Challenge accepted.
And just as a heads up, in the last 3 weeks and 2 days, we've gone up almost 5,000.
Nice.
So that tells you where we started. So thank you for allowing me to be here tonight.
Accepting your, right.
We should also be doing this for our Ugly Sweater 5K in our page. So while you have your phones out, get doing that too. All right, we'll just blow it up. All right, you're next.
Hi, I'm Steve McCombs with Valley View Rotary. And we are sponsoring a Boxing Day blood drive. I threw some flyers out on the table there. There's a QR code. Put them up in your church narthex or at your place of business. It's on Boxing Day, which is the 26th of December. And everybody know what Boxing Day is? It's Canada, eh? Yeah. It's also throughout the old British Empire, which now they call the British Commonwealth. It was a holiday. And the tradition comes from the day after Christmas. People were asked to put money in the alms box in the narthex of the church for the needy and unhealthy in their community. And so we thought we'd tap into that because the blood supplies get really, really low during the holiday season. And it's gonna be at the Radisson Hotel. All the information is on the flyer. And you can park in the parking ramp. You can make an appointment using the QR code. I'm not a QR code kind of guy, so I use the phone number. So it's between 9 AM and 2 PM. If you're working downtown, probably a good way to get a couple hours off, you know. Gotta go give blood, gotta get a rest, you know, so please help support us. Another cool thing about it is it's through Versity Blood Centers of Wisconsin, which means all of the blood that gets collected stays in our area. Red Cross does a great job with disaster relief and things like that. But when you give blood to Red Cross, a lot of it leaves the area. With Versity, it all stays right here. As a matter of fact, they are the major supplier of blood products to both Mayo and Gunderson here in our area. So thank you very much for having me this evening, and please give blood.
All right,
I've got a quick question.
sure.
How many people here have actually given blood at any point in time? Well, there's some that haven't, but those of us who have, it's a tremendous thing, you know, what you give away comes back. I mean, it isn't like you're giving away and it's gone forever. It comes back, and I'm a donor, and I'm a firm believer in donation. I remember when I was 17 years old, one of the juvenile delinquent things we did is we forged our parents' signatures and went over to the firehouse and we donated blood. We were bad. But factually, most recently, I was asked a question by the Red Cross, did you have COVID? And I said, yes. I didn't know I was sick, and nonetheless, my daughter had me get tested. I tested both. And they said, did you take? No, I didn't. He said, well, then we want you to come in again, because we can use your blood as a therapeutic. So that made me feel really, really good about things. And they told me where that blood went, and it helped people. You know, what an easy way to give. I mean, if I hadn't given just within the last week or so, 2 weeks, I should say, I'd be on this thing in a heartbeat. If you haven't given, it takes about an hour out of your time, and they're very nice to you, and they give you something to eat and drink afterwards, so.
Yeah, we'll share that on our private page too.
I'll send you a copy of, did I send you a copy of this?
Not that, but you could, yes, that'd be one. And then I'm gonna put share it, so if you want information.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're gonna roll through our information. Anyone, Ashley is not here.
Brad will do it.
Brad will do it. Come on, Brad. Oh, this is what a 5K coming up.
So we got our big event coming up, Ugly Sweater 5K. We got a lot of work to do to get this, to make it a hit again this year. The first thing is we got a parade on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. I'm gonna bring a trailer down to the warehouse at noon. We're gonna put whatever we can find in the warehouse, blow up some stuff on it, and we'll be down at the lineup at 4 o'clock. I think it's on Main Street and 6th Street. So if you want to come walk in the parade, please do. You know, Amy's got some costumes for people to wear. And that's our kickoff to get this Ugly Sweater run going. And then the following weekend, Friday, it's all day setting up. So we need a lot of volunteers to help us with the setup. And Thursday, I know we start getting stuff ready. So please come out, volunteer, help us with the run, because it's a good time. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. It's pays for a long weekend, but make a lot of money. It's a lot of fun in the end. So please come out and help us.
We need the most volunteers for course marshals and Sunday.
Oh, yes, course marshals. So I got a speaker that I'm on. I was thinking we could use this for commercials, but literally, I guess it's a speaker, you can tie your Bluetooth into it and, get course marshals, anybody at $30 at Home Depot. So if you wanna go buy a speaker and play music and be along the course and encourage runners, this would be I think we should buy a couple more of these and, give them in people's hands to go announce and play some music, so that's all I have to say.
Yeah, so like you said, if you haven't signed up from our club, we just sent out the naughty list, so hopefully you took it upon yourself to sign up. And I think we have a lot of interest from like Interact and the high school kids, so hopefully they reply back, but it's coming up.
So yes,
That's
the
pretty
speaker
cool.
does work really well and it does play music, so you can go great runners, I know you can play music. We keep talking about how do we get music on the route? I keep looking for ways to do that. Bluetooth speaker that plays the radio, so if you want to buy one, they're cheap.
Awesome, thanks. And we're gonna quickly go through our committee updates and then we're gonna take it to the foundation. Jenny, service committee updates. I'll do the first one since Brad already did it for me. Rotary Lights Parade. So if you want to sign up, there'll be a sign up online, I believe. It's pretty fun and Ashley, or no, Amy's gonna be the Grinch on the parade. And it also is your, and you want everyone to come celebrate your birthdays, so. All right, Jenny.
Okay, so we are signed up for the Rotary Lights Samore Fire Pit. Just one shift this year, Sunday, December 22nd. I have paper sign up sheets too. Haven't created the club runner in Facebook yet, but doing that by the end of the weekend. And so I'll pass these around to, for both events. I've never done the fire pit, so I have no idea what we do.
Yeah, just read the fire, put on it, then.
Oh, I gotta get my
You
friend
must have
Jennifer
known
to do
sports
that.
for
She
everybody.
loves playing fire. See if Jennifer can.
You know, s'mores for sticky little kids and then try not to touch the stick.
They're pre-packaged, like, then you give out a bag, it has the marshmallow, the chocolate, and like a graham cracker inside the bag, so you're just handing out the bag.
And then bell ringing, Wednesday, December 18th. It's at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, and I hear that if you have a dog, you can bring a dog, and it's inside the entryway, so it's warm. That's why I picked that location. So, yeah, I have sign-up sheets for both of them. So I'll just pass them around and I'll get the other stuff out this weekend.
Nathan, membership committee.
Oh, yeah, I don't. Kind of dropped the ball. I don't think there were any submitted kudos. The last time I looked a few days ago, there weren't any new ones, so you guys are in trouble. So you definitely need to, I don't know if we have the QR code. Is the QR code here anywhere? No, I'll post in the group again on Facebook, the QR code to upload those. It's a really nice thing to do and just enables us again to get to know each other and everybody's accomplishments and so forth. So make sure that you give your fellow members praise and kudos. All right.
And the little white paper on your table, you can write whatever you'd like, and the pen's in the bag, and then bring it up to the hat. And I think we're almost ready for your presentation, except I have a little sign up. So you might have heard that the main is no longer, but we get to stay here until they say no. So what I am asking is that we'll have to set up and take down our own things. Tonight, the tables and stuff were set up. So I've kind of asked the board to be involved, but I'm also asking you if you could come a little bit early on some of the meetings, just to help. Kind of, if we have to put the tables together and put everything, just because we do get this space for free. And it would be really nice to kind of like help and make sure that we can appreciate what we're given for right now. So I got the next few months of meetings, and if you really want to look, you'll see what the meetings are, so you should plan on attending. We got the Jingle Bell Rock Party coming up, and then other things as well. So I will hand it over to Marissa and Dean.
Yeah.
He said the key room, right?
You and I'm ready? Oh, geez. All right. Thank you guys all for coming tonight. I know some of you have probably heard a lot of this information before. And we were trying to think of how to make it fun, for everybody. And we were gonna do trivia, we were gonna do some group participation, we might still do that. But then we realized there's just so much information to cover, and we're gonna try to do it as quickly as possible. For those of you that don't know, this is my dad. He's very, very passionate about the Rotary Foundation. So, if I start to kick him, it means we gotta wrap it up. But, November is, the Rotary Foundation month, and it is important information to hear because this is what allows us, Rotarians around the world. How many millions are there of us? 1.3 million Rotarians. This is what allows us to do the good work. Our talent, our time, we get to carry forward because of the Rotary Foundation. So I'm just gonna start with this video first, and then, oops, maybe. Hopefully it plays. I don't know, it's the internet. Well, how do I get that? Let's see. Let's see.
It's high beast, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, hi, so-
Okay, hold on, I'm just gonna. That's that.
Okay, so while I'm getting this up, I'm going to, here we go. All right, so, like I was saying, the Rotary Foundation is the charitable arm of Rotary International. So it relies on donations by us Rotarians and our friends, with our talent and our time through service and volunteering to carry out some really amazing, wonderful things that change the world. And I'm gonna pass it over to my dad to talk about how it began.
Do I need the microphone?
Yeah.
Just for you hear me?
Online. People on the,
Okay.
yeah, computer.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll use it. The Rotary Foundation was a brainchild of a guy by the name of Arch C. Clump, who was a Renaissance man out of, I believe, Cleveland, Ohio. Arch had seen a community foundation established there in Cleveland, and he thought that had application in the Rotary world. And so he proposed it at the International Convention in Atlanta, Georgia. I think about 1919. He received a check, it was a fundraising overdraft from the Rotary Club of Kansas City in the amount of $26.50. And with that donation, he initiated the Rotary Foundation. I want to digress just a minute, and it'll be brief. Nothing happens fast in Rotary. It took 10 years for people to get onto the idea that we should have a Rotary Foundation. And when Arch was asked why a foundation, his response was so that we can do good in the world. The Rotary Foundation is a celebration of our celebrating the things that we take for granted so very often. Clean water, access to health, access to an education. And that's what our Rotary Foundation does. And it was started with a guy by the name of Arch C. Clump. The motto of the Rotary Foundation is that it enables Rotarians to advance international understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty. I've been blessed in my Rotary life to be able to travel into 3 foreign countries that were just tremendous areas to bear witness to the effect of Rotary. Africa, let's say Nigeria, India, in the area of Delhi, New Delhi, and then down at a place called Cochabamba, Bolivia. You know, there's such a thing as poverty, and there's such a thing as living in absolute squalor. And I've seen absolute squalor, especially in Africa and India. And that's where there is no hope. There is no hope for those people. They live literally, not only from day to day, they live sometimes hour to hour. In the absence of food, in the absence of clean water, I mean, they drink water that our toilet bowl is better than the water that these folks have to drink. And so Rotary's been a blessing to me, and that I've been able to do that. You want me to continue? 88% of the funds that we donate to the Rotary Foundation are in fact put to good use. There's a thing called Charity Navigator that evaluates how organizations like ours receive monies and how they deal with them. The Rotary International Foundation ranks at the very top out of 16,000 nonprofits that are evaluated. The Rotary Foundation ranks at the very top. In part because all of the work that's done is done by volunteers for the most part. The board is not, they're not compensated, the trustees are not compensated, the people who go out are not compensated. When I went to Africa and India and Colombia, or Cochabamba, I did that on my own nickel, and everybody else does it on their own nickel. So at any rate, I don't know if I have to pay extra for that picture that's in there, Polio Plus Fund. I'll let Marissa take over.
What is happening?
Well, you must be sitting on something.
Fast forward there, baby.
We're talking. Yeah, fast forward. All right, so we're gonna focus mainly on the annual fund tonight. But the 3 major funds that we can support through the Rotary Foundation is that Polio Plus Fund. We'll touch on that in a little bit. Funds that get donated to that are to eradicate polio, which is Rotary's #1 mission. Those funds get matched 2 to 1 by the Gates Foundation. The annual fund share. I was reading something and preparing for this, and somebody referenced it as like your checking account. It's to take care of the stuff that needs to be taken care of today. It's the primary funding source for our local and international foundation grants and activities.
And this is the one where our goal is $100 per member per year. And when we hit that, then we qualify for district grants, which will show the power of that in just a minute. The endowment permanent fund is like the savings account for the future. It's to make tomorrow's future, our future generations, a better place, for those that come after us. It helps sustain our foundation, and, those contributions are professionally invested and only the earnings are spent. So with that, I'm gonna go back. We have 7 areas of focus. Can anybody name all 7? If you can, I will find a prize for you. Anybody? No, okay. All right, well, that's okay. Rotary has 7 areas of focus, so these are especially important when we're applying for those global grants. They have to align with one of these 7 areas of focus: peace building and conflict prevention, disease prevention and treatment, water sanitation and hygiene, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, community economic development, and environmental. Pretty much any project is gonna fall in one of those. And they're so encompassing. The environment was just added within the last 4 or 5 years as the 7th area of focus. Our district grants don't necessarily have to, we try to get them to align to these, but the global grants have to align with these areas of focus. And just a quick summary, looking back at the last Rotary year, there were 485 district grants across the globe. $30 million went to fund these small scale short-term activities. These are like our Shark Tank projects, right? $30 million. There's over 1,200 global grants. These are larger programs or larger projects and activities around the world, $72 million. And then another 4 million went to 106 disaster response grants. So pretty powerful and impressive.
I might just say as an aside to that, I think it was Sunday, I was on the phone speaking with the district governor from the Asheville, North Carolina area, that got devastated by the storm. And she alluded to the disaster response grants, how important they are to helping them to restore their communities, and they've got a mess. I mean, they have a real mess. One of the communities just recently, of 100,000 people, just recently got their water back online. So it came home to bear. Right now, those grants are being used in part to alleviate the suffering that's going on in that Asheville, North Carolina area.
I don't know if you can see the 3 and 0, but the 3 to symbolize our north side greenhouse, that's 3, and Jeremy's wife and son are in the 0 there. That was during our Sleep in Heavenly Peace bed build. So those were both district grants that we got funding from. I'm going to pass it over to my dad to talk about the polio efforts.
Well, there was a guy by the name of,
We don't need the whole history.
say that again?
We don't need the whole history.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fight against polio began, when a guy by the name of Clem Renouf, who was the president of Rotary International, was reading about the eradication of smallpox. He reached out to a district governor who happened to be a research scientist at the National Institute of Health by the name of John Nevers. And he said, if we were going to eradicate another disease, what would it be? And Nevers came back and said polio. And Renouf put Nevers in charge of that. And two guys, one of whom I knew, a guy by the name of Chuck Peters from out in New York, actually went to the Philippines, got a 3H grant out of Rotary. And they went to the Philippines and they proved that if you did a systematic polio eradication program with immunizations, you could eradicate polio in that area. Now, the Philippines is deep because it's just a bunch of islands surrounded by water. So they were able to monitor that. So then it was decided that Rotary was going to go forward and we were going to raise $125 million to launch this thing. And everybody went poo-poo-poo-doo, but it's not going to happen. I mean, who are you people anyway? Nobody thought we could do it. In 1988 or 89 at the International Convention in Philadelphia. This guy, this Chuck Peters that I was talking about, was the president of Rotary International at the time, and he'd been, out on that polio eradication program, announced that we'd raised over $200 million. And that's when this whole thing started. In 1988, there were 350,000 cases of polio in 125 countries. And I gotta tell you, those of us who are in an age group, and I'm in that age group, in the mid 1950s, my parents were scared to death that I was gonna contract polio. There were over 25,000 cases of polio here in the United States that year. And about 2,500 of those people died. And if I told you the names of some of the people that are polio survivors in this town, you wouldn't believe it. And I'm not gonna tell you, because I don't want to violate that confidence, but I gave an honorary Paul Harris to a woman whose husband had enough points, and I got called into the corporate office, and in the course of things, she says, my husband's the only one that knows this. I'm a polio survivor, and she's a very prominent woman here in town. So at any rate, what we've done is we've eliminated over 99% of all the polio in the world. We've got a problem. There are two countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan, that are presenting us with problems, because there's the border, it's basically a fluid border, and they're constantly fighting with each other and one thing and another. But interestingly enough, the terrorist elements in both countries have been willing to lay down their arms and allow us to do polio immunization programs. And that's on the one hand. On the other hand, there's actually been some of our people that have been murdered as they've gone up and tried to do polio eradication. Anyway, I've heard something in the area of 2.5 to 3 billion children have been immunized against polio. I had a health analysis the other day in anticipation of my annual checkup, and I asked the guy, are we still immunizing our children against polio here in the United States? We absolutely are. And the reason is because the polio virus is still an active virus in some parts of the world. It's just an airplane flight away. So anyway, Marissa, I guess.
All right, so going back to the district grants, and again, this rolls into the annual fund share that we donate to. These are those small scale, short-term activities that address our community needs. Our Shark Tank projects, the Good Fight Band, the Northside Elementary Greenhouse, the Gear Up scholarships, the Bedville, they're amazing things, and we are able to get these district grants because we consistently hit that $100 per year per capita requirement. So we contribute $5,000 and we can write a district grant and get a matching $5,000, and it's like free $5,000 money to turn our 5,000 into 10,000. This is a plea. Start thinking about Shark Tank. It is February 25th, 2025. Start to get those ideas rolling. If you don't know a nonprofit, that's okay. If you have a passion in a specific area of focus, if you're like, I want to do something with, I don't know, let's say the parenting place, we can align you with contacts at nonprofits. We have a really well-represented group here. We'll make connections, but come talk to me. We'll get the ball rolling, and get some really cool projects pitched in February. The more projects we have, the more exciting it is. So that's my plea for that. Global grants. We have done global grants in the past. In our strategic planning session in 2020, we came back and said, we want to do a big scale global grant project every 3 to 4 years. These are large international activities that, again, align with the areas of focus. They have to be over $30,000. We can get a World Fund match from the Rotary Foundation. It has to have international collaboration. So in the case of the Rotary Mobile Clinic, we that was almost like our last thing that we had to accomplish. We got partnerships from the Netherlands clubs. There's 3 clubs in the Netherlands that I think, Nathan, you visited on your River Frontier machine, and a club in Germany. And because we were able to check off all those requirements, our area clubs raised $82,000, over $82,000. But then look at that, we get $150,000 worth of grant match, like almost 3 to 1. Like it's pretty crazy how much extra grant money we got from the Rotary Foundation to make that project happen. Another one was our cervical cancer for women in Nicaragua. And that was back in, I think, 2018, and we contributed $14,700. We got
global grant match of 14,700. And we got 22,050 from the Rotary Foundation, $51,000 project. We were just 14,000 of that. So I am gonna actually, we have Sierra and Dr. Strauss online, and I'm going to try to pull them up. They are gonna give us the update on the Nicaragua rain harvesting project. That I don't know, I might just have to have you guys talk, so that they can see the screen here. But Sierra, was our foundation chair, and she started the global grant project when we said we wanted to do one. Back, I think it was in 2021. So can you guys hear me, and are you able to join us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Let me see if I can turn this up a little bit. Keep talking.
Hear us? Is this good enough volume?
Can you guys hear her? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Sierra. Like Marissa said, I used to be the foundation chair for our club. And then this is Richard.
Hi, everybody.
And so we're just going to give a little update on what is happening with the Nicaragua rain harvesting project. So like Marissa shared, we have been working towards a global grant. I joined the club in 2021, and at that time we started researching different potential projects. And then about 18 months ago, 2 years, we landed on the Nicaragua rain harvesting project. So it's been a collaboration between our club, downtown, Homan, East, with involvement of funding also from La Crescent and the Interact clubs. And our original goal was to provide 100 rain harvesting systems to rural communities in Matagalpa, Nicaragua. And at the end of the summer, we were a few days away from being able to submit our grant application. Unfortunately, a few days before we were able to do this, there was some disruption in Nicaragua where the government closed 1,650 nonprofit organizations in August. This is not a new thing in Nicaragua. This has been happening. This is just another 1,000 nonprofits that they have closed. And unfortunately, in this round of closures, it included the Rotary Club of Matagalpa, which was our host club for the grant. And as Marissa shared before, the Rotary Foundation requires that there is international collaboration between the international club and the host club. So unfortunately, this meant that within a few weeks of this government update, the Rotary Foundation decided that we were no longer able to be sending money there. They would no longer be accepting grant applications in Nicaragua any longer. So at that time, since like I said, our committee was in the final stages of the grant application, we quickly moved to finding other options for the money that was donated by clubs and club members, community members. And we were advised by the district leadership that the only options to move forward were either reallocating funds to another global grant or returning the money to donors. So luckily, we have Dean McHugh on our committee from the Homan Rotary Club, and he got to work for us pretty quickly to find some new projects, which Richard's going to share about.
Hi, everybody. This is Richard Strauss. I'm a member of Rotary Club of La Crosse, and it's great to be here with you and with you, Sierra. First of all, I would like to give a huge amount of thanks to Dean McHugh and to Sheila Riley and to Sierra, because I will tell you honestly that if it weren't for their unbelievable efforts, this would never have happened. So we went from really a disheartening situation that Sierra described. After all that work, this was not going to happen. And now we're on to something that's really exciting. I think it's a shame for the people in Nicaragua, for the people in Matagalpa, but it's a wonderful opportunity for these three communities. So what we really are left with is, thanks to Dean, he has some experience with Guatemala, other parts of South America, and he uncovered some of these programs which were already pretty far along. And I'll just go over them very, very briefly. But the one on the left, you can see this. These are two separate communities, but one is Cruz Chich and the other is Chumisa. These are in Guatemala. And what they are going to do is, as it says on the slide, this will provide clean water to 300 households. And I think that's an approximation, 3,700 people. We're really not entirely sure. But these are two different communities with very, very high poverty rates. The water project, we have this rain collection system on rooftops, and then it was going to be filtered and provided to the homes. But this is a pretty comprehensive setup. It has distribution lines, it has a pressure tank that is concrete, has a chlorination unit, and each household has its own individual tap, which is really nice. And if you look things like this up, when people don't have rain collections, harvesting systems around the world, they are spending up to hours a day searching for water that is, well, it's probably not even clean, it's not hygienic. So this is a marvelous thing. The partnership, it'll be with the Elmbrook Rotary Club. I believe that is in support of the Milwaukee Rotary Club. And then Vista Hermosa Rotary Club, that is the local club there. The Engineers Without Borders, they're chipping in as well, and this is the total project budget. The other site in Guatemala, the name of it is Llano Grande, and that's going to provide clean water to a smaller number of people. It's also a very sophisticated system. So this is springs, distribution tanks, solar power, which is really terrific, and I think they have an abundance of solar power. Again, a partnership with Vista Hermosa, they're the host called There in Guatemala, and with the Milwaukee Rotary Club, and then Engineers Without Borders. And then the third project, the Ciudad de Dios in Peru, that's going to be, it's a huge number of communities. I mean, this, or rather households, 583 households. And so that could be several thousand individuals who will benefit from this. They have an existing system, but this is going to be upgraded with solar power, again, pumps, water treatment to make this drinkable. And the partnership will be with the Lakewood Ranch, which I believe is in Florida, and then their club, the Castilla Rotary Club, and then an NGO called Water Mission. And the nice thing here, it says that Holman Rotary Club has participated in several projects with Lakewood. And I think that goes back to what Dean had told us, that the clubs, the Milwaukee Rotary Club and the other Rotary Club, they have a huge amount of experience doing this. So why are we enthusiastically supporting this? Well, it's these are terrific projects. I think it gives us a terrific effect in that it's going to take clean water to thousands of people. It's true that we're not doing our original project, but we are able to allocate funds. This is going to be something like $32,000, I believe, of the $34,000 that we have remaining. And so it's a terrific opportunity, as that slide said, to be involved with the magic of global grants. But that's, this is the year of, it's the magic of Rotary, isn't it? And so this is kind of magical that we're able to do this.
I found another container.
We're hoping that these grants are going to be matched and, matched 100% and then 80%, and that we will be a real good contributor to these projects. I don't think originally we thought that we would be able to contribute to so many different projects, but I think this money with its multiplication effect will benefit really thousands of people who are in need of clean water. So yeah, we are very happy and very enthusiastic about it.
So you may be wondering how this affects our club, and like Richard shared, because of what each of these projects need to complete them, we originally selected the one project in Guatemala, but now have learned that we likely will be able to support all three projects, which is a little different than our original plan of one. But our club would no longer be in charge of this grant. So previously, we're overseeing the funds, we're overseeing implementation, reporting, we're responsible for submitting the application. But we would now be supporting another club's project and just providing the funds towards them. So for the one that we originally selected, that will be the Elmbrook Rotary Club in Wisconsin, with support from the Milwaukee Club. And similar to, our project, this project is supported by a nonprofit organization that has a lot of experience doing this work in the host country. And how does this fit with our club goals? So as Marissa shared, in a previous strategic plan, our club had decided that every 3 to 4 years we would participate in a global grant, ideally leading one. But this one really aligns with the goals that we set in that strategic plan and the survey that went out to the club along with it, where we decided that we were most interested in doing a project in Latin or South America focused on either clean water and sanitation, which is what these applications will be selected for, but also have a very clear benefit to the other area of focus that we selected, which is women and children's health. Our club also expressed an opportunity to travel to the project, and we'll come around to that later, but that is a possibility here. Also, the Rotary Club Board did approve that in selecting a new project that we would keep the $10,000 originally allocated to the original project to the new project that we selected. So when we learned this information and came up with a new project to allocate the funds to, we did inform all of the donors that had contributed to this project, whether it was a club, an Interact club, community member, individual Rotarians, and gave them the opportunity to ask questions or request their funds back. And of the $41,180 that we originally started with, we still have $34,680 to put towards a new project, which is really, really incredible. And so there is an opportunity to travel to this project. So the Rotary Club of Milwaukee is planning 2 trips to to Guatemala. They visited there in the past. They've done a lot of trips there. They have a lot of projects they've completed there. So on these trips, there's opportunity to see past projects, future projects, meet local Rotarians, and really see all the possibilities in that area. So if you're interested in going, the cost of the trip is going to be about $2,500. And if you do want to go, they are requiring a deposit of $500 by December 16th. You can take a picture of the screen. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me and I would be happy to send you the flyer that they provided us about the trip. It has all the contact information on there as well. So there's the trip starting in February, trip starting in March. So that's a really cool opportunity to see the magic of Rotary in person with some clubs that have a lot of experience and see what our club is going to be, how we're going to be impacting that community.
Thank you guys so much. I don't think we have time for questions,
That's
but
totally
we will have anybody that does have questions, reach out to you, Sarah or Dr. Strauss after. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and I know what's
Thank-
left, and we probably will go 5 minutes over, and I'm sorry, but these are perhaps the most important parts of our slides. Really, high level, there's different levels of foundation recognition. Our goal is to get every Rotarian every year, whatever amount you donate. When you reach $1,000 cumulative, or if I were to say, if I have donated $1,000, I get 1,000 recognition points. And I might make Danny, I might take those 1,000 points and recognize Danny. She becomes a Paul Harris Fellow. Paul Harris Society is $1,000 annually. You can become a member of the Bequest Society, which there are members in this club that are. You can just designate it in your living will or in a life insurance policy, and that is a $10,000 commitment upon your death. Major donor is $10,000 or more, and if you really have the big bucks and want to join the Arch C Clump Society, you can donate $250,000 to $1 million plus. So with that, we are going to, this is the most important part, is our Paul Harris Fellow recognition. And I'll have you talk about what the Paul Harris Fellow is as I get this stuff ready.
Well, the Paul Harris Fellow is the person who has, in fact, donated $1,000 cumulatively. The idea came when Paul Harris died. He said, don't make a big deal out of it, but if you want to do something, contribute to the Rotary Foundation, and $2.5 million came in. And then they established the Paul Harris Fellow Award, and they said, anybody who donates $1,000. Well, they changed that, and they said, anybody who donates $10,000 cumulatively. So that's the first way a person becomes a Paul Harris Fellow. I'll be real honest with you. The first time I got a Paul Harris, it was given to me by the club, the Rotary Club of Lacrosse, and I had no idea what it was that I had done that merited that thing. And that's when it brought me to a different level of awareness. I started looking into this thing called the foundation, what it was all about. And so, over the course of my life, I've had the privilege of awarding something like 20 or 30 honorary Paul Harris's. By virtue of my own giving, and then by virtue of the fact that we raised all that money with Don Weber. Remember when, we had the institute here in La Crosse, and Don came in with $25,000. So anyway, we got the points, and so now we want to recognize the members of the club for their Paul Harris recognition. I'm sorry.
So Brandon wasn't able to make it with us tonight, so we will recognize him at a future time, but he would be receiving his Paul Harris Fellow +5 tonight. The next one up is Jeremy Morris. Jeremy is receiving his Paul Harris Fellow +6. Don't go anywhere. Shake your hand. Congratulations. Thank you. In the past, we've reached out to Rotarians and said, please tell me something that you really appreciate about this Rotarian receiving the Paul Harris Fellow. But the individuals that are receiving them tonight are repetitive Paul Harris Fellows, and not to say you don't warrant all the accolades in the world, because we are have so much gratitude for your generosity. But I thought it'd be more impactful to hear from you in 30 seconds or less, why you choose to give to the Rotary Foundation. What moves you to donate?
I mean, people like Dean, and being in the club for about 10 plus years has been just really impactful to see what we've done locally in the community with some of the projects, but also, you know, this past year I got to go down to Brazil, and see what Rotary does on an international scale. When I traveled personally to Jamaica, I visited a club when I was down there. And so it's as little as I am here physically, it's just really important to me that it's had an impact on my life, and it's a small contribution really in the grand scheme of things in our life to be able to give to the greater community. I mean, when you see $1 turn into $4, it's pretty powerful.
Thank you, Jeremy. You can step here if you want, or you can picture. Oh, go ahead.
Why don't we just get everybody?
Yes.
Whoa.
Okay. Got it.
You want me to sit like this?
All right, perfect.
Thank you. All right, our next one is the one and only Laura Lee. Laura is receiving her Paul Harris +8 this evening. So she'll receive her pin, and it has the three rubies on it, to signal her Paul Harris Fellow +8. And Laura, we could say so much about you too, and what you do for Rotary, what you do for this club, not only through your service, but also obviously through your foundation giving. But what moves you to donate to the Rotary Foundation?
So when I joined the club, I was a young, poor kid who just needed to find more friends in La Crosse. So one of the first meetings that we had was talking about the incoming governor, and they were talking about giving and matches. So I started giving, and I think, Aaron, you talked about it's $8.33 to hit that $100. And $8.33 to a young person sounds kind of like a lot, but then also I thought about how much I spent at Broncos on Friday night and thought, okay, maybe I could do $8.33 a month. So when you think about it that way, it really didn't turn out to be that much, and it was a slow roll at first. And then as I furthered myself in my career and I allocated more funds because I was making more money, it just became easier and easier to reach these numbers. And it makes it really, really easy if you figured out that your company does a match to all of your donations. So thank you, United Health Group, for matching half of these 8 Paul Harris Fellows, because some of it came from a company, and then you get the recognition, but it all adds up in the end. So it makes a big difference. Like Jeremy said, internationally, I got to go to Africa. I got to see the work. Again, that was when I was young and poor, and it was just really worth it. So if you start small, you can grow. And if you do Rotary Direct, you don't even know that you're giving that money away. It just automatically comes out. So, yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
Get the sign in here and everything. All right, thank you.
All right, so let's see, this one just goes to show you, and hopefully it doesn't go back to the beginning, what $1 can do, or what $15 can do. You can spare a child's life from polio with just a $15 donation. $100 gives vocational training to young people to that might have developmental disabilities to learn skills that they need for future jobs. Sewing equipment for $720, you can employ women who learn how to use the sewing machine to create economic development in their own communities and support their families. So I really love this slide. It shows you just the impact that $1 up to $1,000 can do. I just want to really quickly, 62% of our club donates. Thank you so much. 19% are Paul Harris Fellows. 29% are Paul Harris Fellow Plus. All those white, we want you. We want you yellow. We want you orange. We want you to be Paul Harris Fellows. I'm gonna ask Laura to come back up really quickly again. Thank you to everybody that's listed there. You donate to Rotary Direct, and Laura's a master at sales, so I'm gonna turn her loose.
Okay, so I mentioned the Rotary Direct. Like I said, you don't even realize the money's coming out of your account. You can go right to rotary.org. I'm sure there's a giant button on the screen. There's a laptop right here. So if anybody is interested in signing up, we can make this laptop work for you by the end of the night tonight. It is $8.33. Mr. Aaron Miller told us that a long time ago. I think he wrote a song about something too. He can probably sing it for us if you want it, but there are people in our club that didn't even realize they're as close to a PHF as they really are. Miss Amy Schmidt, you are one of those people. You are halfway there and you didn't even realize that money was coming out of your account because it's a coffee a month, but it's a coffee a month, but it comes out of the account. It happens, it adds up. $10, $8.33 can get you there faster than you know it. There's all sorts of people who are willing to match you. And please just do it. It's really easy. If you are one of those white stick figures right there, we will find you and we will hunt you down in a very nice way.
Yeah, so if you need the QR code to go to Rotary Direct, it's so easy. You guys, you can change it, you can stop it, you can pause it, you can add money to it at any time.
You can do it monthly, quarterly, annually.
Yeah, one lump sum, and start with the annual fund, or, I mean, and help us qualify for those district grants. And then you can grow it from there. There's certain areas of focus you can get to, but start with that $8.33 a month. I promise you, you won't miss it. Brad.
Well, I just did it. I got like there's different clauses in here, so you can click a clause.
You
The
need
annual
to do
fund,
the
yep.
annual fund, otherwise, yeah.
The annual fund or Polio Plus goes towards your Paul Harris Fellow. All right, so because we want everybody to become a Paul Harris Fellow, we're making a special offer. Now through the end of the Rotary year, which is June 30th, 2025, if you have a new personal contribution, we will match it with Paul Harris Fellow points from the club, up to $500. And that goes to your either first or your next Paul Harris Fellow. Please let me know. I'm tracking it. I pulled the report this morning to see where everybody's at. If you want to know where you stand and how close you are, I've got that information I can show you after. But we also want to offer an opportunity for those that are like, I can't do it right now. I can't donate. And that's going to be through the Paul Harris Service Award. And you can earn Paul Harris Fellow points through your dedication and commitment to Rotary After Hours. This is the wrong side. I'm sorry. Disregard this. We are going to be offering you for every raw volunteer event you sign up for and attend now through the end of the year or until we run out of points, which we shouldn't. We will offer you 50 Paul Harris Fellow points. So you come and volunteer at Ugly Sweater. Come June, I will credit you with 50 points to go towards your Paul Harris Fellow. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna add up fast. If you do two events a month, if you do bell ringing and s'mores, you can earn 100 points. That's 1/10 of the way towards Paul Harris Fellow.
Does the parade count?
The parade will count, yes. So thank you, we went over, I'm sorry, but thank you for helping us do good in the world. Your contributions allow us to do the amazing Shark Tank projects, the amazing water projects that are happening in 3 countries that are changing lives, you guys, like, it's pretty incredible. So thank you, thank you. And with that, I'm sorry we went over.
All right, we're gonna kind of finish up. So, my quote for the meeting today is the world needs more Rotary members. This is my push to invite people to the Ugly Sweater 5K, invite them to the Christmas party, invite them to any of the meetings next January. We really want to get our membership growing and we just need your help. With that, there's a couple housekeeping things. There is no meeting on Christmas Eve. Sorry, we're just not gonna see you. But you can see us on the 10th for the Jingle Bell Rock Party. And we have some special things. Festive attire is encouraged, and we're gonna do a little cookie exchange, bring a cookie. We'll see who has the best, and it's just gonna be kind of like a fun night to kind of celebrate the holiday season. And with that, if you could stand, we'll do the 5-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Is it fun? All right, well, thank you all, and great job, Marissa and Dean, and we hope to see you joining the Paul Harris soon. All right, if anyone wants to help, like, take down, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Where the chairs go through?
The chairs can all stay, everything can stay, it's just, we just make sure everything's clean and kind of tidy. Yeah, I love that.
I still do math. Like baby white.
Yeah.